to the surprise exhibition of the Blades of Eldraya again.
So I'm going to be doing the same run that I had started up and sort of stalled off on the last time. I have changed up my ideas again. This time I'm giving myself the 10% discipline as opposed to getting 5% up here. I think that it's going to be more valuable, honestly. I think the opening gambit isn't that hard, and having access to more potent stuff overall is better. I also moved core creation cost all the way down here because putting it up here allows me to have reduced coring costs for this opening gambit, and that's pretty much it. I don't really, because I have this opening gambit, and then I just sit there for a long period of time. So this halves the cost, and I still get the same amount later on in the game. I've also added the Years of Separatism thing, and just generally puttered around changing some things around here. The other thing that I've done is, and we'll see whether this works, I got rid of Righteous and replaced it with Expansionist. And I've got Conqueror and set her to age 40. So Aldrea is meant to be able to really dramatically give me bonuses for the beginning and help me to get my empire really in a good position early. The monthly autonomy change is very, very powerful because you're going to spend the entire time at war, which means that your autonomy is not going to decrease naturally as a duchy republic. I have expansionist because I want to get as much as I can out of my settlers in the first 50 or so years. And I have Conqueror because Years of Separatism reduction is a really potent effect, which is also why I have it here as well. I had actually considered doing something more like this for a while, but I ended up adjusting my things and not doing that. So anyway, let's get started. You guys have possibly already seen this, but the basic gist is that we are doing Ideas Guy. We are doing we're doing Ideas Guy for Odin and won't count towards the leaderboard. That's fine. What else am I doing? First come, first serve, and from humble origins. So combining all of these is not necessarily the most efficient thing to do in the world, but it's what we're doing anyway. Okay, so first things first, we want to start fabricating our claims on this region. So I don't have a deity selected. We're going to go ahead and choose Odin. And we have the mission to improve our prestige. We have Spreading Norse Rituals, which gives us +1 missionary strength. And increased prestige for stability cost modifier is not worth it, in my opinion. So we have a few changes to the way things work now, and I haven't done this opening in a while, so I don't really remember everything that I was going to do. Do I have enough money? No. Okay, so, one thing of note is that I have also changed. I am currently Manchu culture because it gives you the ability to actually have to raise banners. So I can't raise any banners right now, but I'll be able to raise banners later, and that will help a decent amount when I can actually do it. So I can go ahead and get rid of this cavalry if I want. It costs me the same amount as 2 infantry, which is unreasonably expensive. I'm not going to be able to flank anyone with that cavalry, so it's much more sensible for me to do that and then build 3 spearmen. Okay, so introduce vision quests. We don't want to do that, so we're just going to toggle this off. And we can get this stuff going. So we lose Republican tradition if we do this. They don't have enough influence for me to demand any of these things. So that's interesting. Okay, so I can make a generous donation, which will reduce the stability cost modifier. So I'm going to do this. That allows me to boost my stability. And that allows me to encourage divination and do religious sacrifices. Okay. And let's see, was there anything else that I was going to do? Seek the support of the clergy. They won't have at least 40. If I call a diet, that doesn't allow me to do anything else, right? Yeah, I would need their influence to be at least 40 to do any of that stuff. So I'm going to send a ship to protect trade. And we are going to send our merchant here to collect from trade. And let's see here. Okay. I think we're relatively set. Now, what else do we need to do? Anything? Oh, I guess I should get in the chat, huh? I think it's very confused. Anytime the stream is closed and I don't close the app, it refuses to acknowledge that the stream is live. There we go. Okay. So, anything else that I need? Do I need cogs for anything? Not for a very long time. We're going to disband the cogs. Alright, so we also need to start working on this stuff. So first of all, Age of Discovery. So, as a American, there's actually different stuff. So, Developed Nation replaces Discover America. So once I reach 100 development, I'll have this. And that will allow me to get higher developed colonies first, because I don't have to worry about any wartime stuff. And that'll be good. I can't humiliate a rival, but being present on 2 continents is actually relatively easy to do because we just have to get to South America. Okay, perfect. So we're going to send our diplomats out. Do we have anything else needs to happen? We've already done this. The stuff we were going to do with the states. You know what? We're going to do this. It's fine. We're going to demand administrative support. We're going to call a diet. Demand military support. Doing this, does it give us access to... No. Also, why do they have 10 now? 5 just now. Oh, yeah, whatever. Okay, so we gained plus 50 to our powers, and we're going to start having this decay back up, which is good. And we are ready to do covert action. So we need to build a spy network in Quiche. Pizza, Zapotec, and Mixtec are rivals. So Itza is enemies with Zapotec, Kokomes, Quiche, and Shu. So basically, this situation where Itza is sort of caught in the middle and can't declare war on anyone is being maintained by this. Okay, so that being said, what do I need to do now? So I'm gonna probably... I'm not sure if I'm gonna vassalize Quiche or what, but should work fine. So grant monopoly charters will reduce my development costs. We don't need to do that quite yet. Okay, so we're gonna need a leader eventually. And I believe my strat here was to wait. They're allied with both Kokomis and Shu. That's interesting. Never seen that before. So Itza is currently isolated. And I don't have any casus belli on that. Okay, so this is interesting. If I declare war on Quiche, I'm going to end up in a war against Quiche, Kokomis, and Shu, which should work fine because Itza will not grant either of these guys military access. The problem is that it prevents me from doing what I'd like to do. I've actually never seen them do this before either. So I can't have a rival, right? Yeah. So I don't have any possible rivals. And my that Republican tradition is actually going to cap out before things go out. Now, I should have actually not built these troops. I probably should have built one of them. Just to get my manpower recovering, but not built all three, because now I have the problem that I'm spending twice as much on army maintenance as I need to. So let's see what has to happen. These guys just introduce vision request. So I need to have a 20 potency spy network to go after them. Can I annex both of these guys? 53, 39. So these guys are both only allied with Quiche. Let me go ahead and fabricate a claim on Iximche. And what I'd prefer to do, actually, and it might be worth waiting for a spy network, or it might not. We're back live. Okay, so what I'm hoping here is if I could declare war on Kokomes instead, then and set Quiche as a co-belligerent, I can actually vassalize Quiche without piecing out of the war. So let's do that. Do I need to? Yes. So we'll be able to piece Quiche out of the war immediately, and then, establish them as a vassal. What? Okay, that's okay. No, we have to restart. Sorry. Aldrea's dead 2 seconds into the game. No. No. We need her to live to be at least 50. Now, interestingly enough, in the previous games, I actually had Aldrea, like the most recent one that I did, I set Aldrea to be age 25 instead. Which was an interesting idea. And we have 2 points left to spend because of the bug with government type. The reason I had 2 points to spend is because it's automatically giving me a spouse that doesn't exist. Okay, so because the other thing that I could do is I could set her to age 25, drop expansionist completely. And in favor of Conqueror, but it doesn't look like I can actually do that because it's more expensive. So, Conqueror, where are you, Conqueror? I wish that this had some form of organization to it. So, let's see. Done. Let's do it. Okay. So occasionally you're going to have to just do a restart if you get really, really shitty luck in the beginning. That's the other thing, is that I had intended to go in after getting Pike's Square. That's what I did last time as well. So I think what I'm going to do is we're going to delete this, this cavalry. We're going to build 1 infantry. We're going to delete the cogs. Set these guys protect trade in Panama, and select Odin. Improve our prestige, administrative focus, restoration, support, and now the reason it's better for me to do this is that if it takes 5 years for me to... how long is it? Sorry, if it takes 10 years before I actually get the influence up to 40, then I'm basically just wasting time. Okay, so I can take out a loan of 1 ducat. Anything else that I need to do? Yes, I should be boosting my stability now before I run into the difficulties that I'll have later. Encourage divination and religious sacrifices and spreading Norse rituals. Alright, so we are going to build a spy network here. We're going to build a spy network up in Kokomes, because I'm now remembering that I tend to go after those 2 before I go after the Itza. The Itza are very convenient for sort of locking enemies away from their allies. Okay, so before we declare war, let's look here. So Itza is allied with Shu. Kokomes is unallied, and Quiche has no allies. So I could go after either of these immediately. Shu and Itza are going after Kokomes. And that's actually interesting, because if they fully annex Kokomes, that creates an interesting situation for me. Shu plus Kokomes is not over 100%. I can pretty much, no matter what happens here, I'll be able to annex in one war. So Quiche is completely alone. And what do we want to do about that? Do I want to get Pike Square before I go in? Pike Square is pretty damn amazing. So we're going to fabricate a claim on this that allows us to go after them. And we're going to fabricate a claim here. And since these guys are about to cease to exist, we can start building a spy network here instead. So do this. So these are both occupied. So basically the whole thing is getting occupied by Shu. And Shu just took all of that. They might even lose their alliance with Itza, because they just took all of it. Leg. So I'm not sure if I should invest in stability right now. And yes, so Itza and Shu now have a truce. And Quiche is in a good position for me to go after. So do I need to keep fabricating or keep building a spy network? I don't think I do. I'm going to stop this. I'm going to build 2 more spearmen, and I'm going to go in on these guys early. I'm not going to wait until I get Pike Square. It's dangerous for me to wait, because somebody else could attack them first. And from my recollection, the way that this worked... Declare this. And I am going to get a leader. He's not great, but he does have siege. We're going to just pop in this way. They are not coming after me. We're going to just pop into Guatemala, I guess. And try to siege this down. Now, if we can siege down their... They have a 0-0 general. So... this isn't a great opportunity for them. I'm going to leave 1 unit behind. Send the rest to wipe out their army. Should arrive this month. Done. Okay, so we can now take full control. Here. So we're going to split this army in half, send half of them over here. Okay, so can we... We can't quite afford to siege down that province yet, so... Actually, this is silly. We're going to do it this way. I'm going to leave this guy here and send everybody else in here. And that should do it. There we go. Okay, so our goal here is not annexation. Actually, do we want to annex them and then release them? Yes. It's silly to not just annex, then release. So we're going to annex them and then release them as a vassal. And that will make it so that they are a little less angry with us about the whole murdering them all thing. Okay, so I can now fabricate a claim on Belize. And they don't have any allies still. So we should be able to just go in against Itza next, and then just go in against Shu. We should be able to take them all out reasonably easily. None of them are particularly strong opponents on their own. So I lose some money, I gain mercantilism, and they gain loyalty and influence. And those are both good things for them to get, because that allows me to grant monopoly charters and then demand diplomatic support. Cha-ching. Alright, so now we're just going to wait for this siege to go down. Once this siege is done, we get them as a vassal and can go after Itza. We will, let's see, we need to be... I guess building a spy network against them isn't terribly useful right now, because I can't. I guess yeah, we're gonna build a spy network against these guys. This is something that should have occurred to me just now. I'll be able to fabricate one more claim on Itza before I give these provinces back as a before I release them as their own independent nation. So let's see here. I'm gonna send this guy over here. Though we're not running into a problem of... We're probably not going to finish looting any of these provinces. We just don't have a big enough army to fully loot. And that's okay. Merchant Republic, huh? So the one disadvantage of having chosen a republic as my government type... Okay, so do we have enough? No. 1.47 in a month. Do I want to wait 2 months on this? No. I don't think so. I don't think it's worth it. So we can release... We can't. We have to actually annex them first. So we can annex these guys. That'll work fine. Gain Republican tradition. I think I'm going to... It really sucks that I don't get the ability to gain this Republican tradition. But let me do this. Okay, so we've annexed them, and now we can just go to our diplomacy, and whoop, whoa, 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 whoa. We will release them as a vassal. Okay, so they have high liberty desire, which makes sense considering how weak I am relative to them. And let's see here, we do not have Pike Square yet. These guys have a 4-1 general. Start improving my relations with Quiche. Can now invest in temples, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Got a production efficiency increase as well as some other nice bonuses. Okay, now as for Itza, they have 7 troops, and I think it's in my best interest to have more than them. So we're going to build enough troops that we have more. We're going to lose 10 Republican tradition. I probably should have built one of these guys as a merc. We're running low on manpower, but I think it'll be okay. This is jungle. And luckily their capital fort is in a good position here. So the other thing that I need to make sure of is that when I go after these guys, Zapotek is very likely to go after them. Zapotek is not going to go after them because they don't have a claim. And once I have the numerical advantage here, I will go ahead and declare war. So let's see. What do I want to do in terms of province taking? I'm not going to spend anything there. It is nice being able to see what kind of general they have in advance. Okay, so we can now declare war if we pull this person back. So they won't want a royal marriage because they're disloyal. They are now allied with the Aztecs. Perfect. This allows us to go to war with the Aztecs and conceivably vassalize them right now. The Aztecs have gotten into an alliance that is useless to them. They can't actually get through Zapotec territory. So I'm going to go ahead and set Aztec as a co-belligerent. Am I going to do that? They're allied with Colima and Itza. So if I don't set Aztecs as co-belligerents, I can't get in here. Or I can't annex them. unless they lose territory to someone else. So I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to set them as a co-belligerent because I think it's a dangerous move. There's the potential for Colima to get military access, which will then propagate to everyone else, I believe. So we're just going to do this. Take Belize. And I don't really want to fight them, so we'll just pop over to Belize. And these guys are now going to move up to Ueno. And then lose control. No, lose control. Lose military access. And we're going to keep improving our relations with our subject. And very shortly, we will have a loyal subject instead of a disloyal one. So I don't know what's going on here. But these guys are going straight to Peyton. I'm going to Ueno again. Okay, so, I mean, we'll arrive after them. And just chill here. And they are standing in Ueno. They're not coming. Perfect. So Quiche's Liberty Desire is increasing because of the fact that they're getting their stuff. And we're about to get Pike Square. I am concerned that these guys are gonna do something that I don't like. I'm gonna send one army to go take control of both of these provinces. And I can now pick up Pike Square. So I might as well do that. And our vassal is no longer disloyal. So let's take a look here. We can now get a royal marriage with them whenever we want. Stop relations improvement in order to do that. Oh, I can't get royal marriages. I'm an idiot. Let's see. 2 inflation or 10 Republican tradition. This is a really rough choice. I'm gonna do the 10 Republican tradition. Now, the reason that I'm doing the 10 Republican tradition is because I can actually increase my Republican tradition using military power. I don't need to get stuff like standardized pikes as soon as possible. I don't have to worry about these guys getting Pike Square anytime soon. And I will have a pretty massive advantage for as long as nobody else has Pike Square. So, what would happen? So these guys now have a rank 3 military. Oh. So my vassal's actually got a really potent military here. It's good to know. These guys are actually allied with Nixtech. It's Nixtech. So we won the Siege of Peyton. And now, if I wanted to, I have the ability I could actually probably piece these guys out and just take most of their provinces and not take the full gamut. So, for instance, I could just not take Payton itself. I could give Chiapas to Quiche, control both of these, and then that allows me to continue expanding west without dramatically increasing the territory that I need to deal with, as well as meaning that I don't have to do this. So I don't have to deal with that army at all then. So let's find out if I can take these 3 provinces. Yes, I can. Can I take all of their provinces? No. And then I can also force religion, potentially. And that I can actually do. I just have to wait a month or 2. Okay, so mixed tech. But if I do that, and this is a problem, if I do peace out there, then I don't get anything out of it.
God damn it, Eldrea died again.
Shit. You know, I guess it makes sense if I do it if she's that old. Maybe I really should make her younger. I think I might want to make her younger. It's fine though. We'll continue this attempt for now, and then we'll make her younger on the next attempt. So we don't need to do that. Oh right. Let's see. So we can move these guys to here, I guess. Start looting this province. It's weird. I don't know why this changed. So I'm not going to be able to piece the Aztecs out unless I invite myself into a war over there. So here's... I'm actually curious about one thing in particular, which is... I think that we should... What was the other thing I was doing? Force religion. I don't think we need to force religion. So we're not going to force religion on them. I'm going to just do this. Okay. So we can core this. Core this. And give Chiapas to Quiche. Okay, so now I don't have access there, so for whatever reason, these guys can just walk in there. Whatever. And we can now declare war on, well, not can't declare war, we need to fabricate the claims first. So take, what are the biggest provinces? Okay, no matter what two I get a claim for, it's the same. Actually, that's not true. I need to make sure that I get Campeche, which I did not, did I? I don't know why I thought that I had enough to get 2 claims. Oops. Okay, that's fine. We're going to do Uwe Mill. And we are not going to set Mixed Tech as a co-belligerent. Or are we? No. No, we are not. So declaring war for Uemil. We should be able to do this pretty simply. They have a rank 1 military. And Mixed Tech is how big? I can actually annex Mixed Tech right now. This war, I can annex Mixed Tech in. So we're going to pop over here. We are not going to do it that way, though. And these guys have 9,000 troops. So I'm actually just going to send these guys straight up to their capital. In all likelihood, they're going to largely ignore. Leave a siege here and just move these guys up here. If they just go into Guatemala and try to take that, that's really good for us. So let's take a look. Send this guy back up here because he has siege. And they're going somewhere. I can actually move this guy here. Okay, so detach a blockade here, go down south, and we can't detach a blockade here. So we're gonna wait till the first, and then we're gonna move these guys up. So Renaissance has popped. We don't need diplomatic technology, I don't think. 2 more years. Yeah, not with the totally trash gains we're going to be getting here. So we have a pretty massive advantage here. I don't know why they're doing this. This is just crazy. It's utter insanity to try and attack there. What I probably should have done was left one guy behind and charged them. And now it's too late for that. But yeah, making Aldrea younger has the unfortunate side effect that one of her abilities will be random, so she could end up with something like Cruel or some other extremely unfortunate effect. But it has the advantage that you have a better ruler for longer. Now, that being said, I do still have 4 administrative power as opposed to 6. It's not amazing, but it's not terrible either. So this area is going to have a huge number of separatists, probably. Unfortunately, I don't have the Conqueror trait anymore. So these guys are going to my capital? No, they're going completely off. Alright, so the goal here is to take control of these provinces and then set these guys back to protecting trade in Panama. Actually, these guys are going to go to Mexico. And we are going to send a merchant, because we now have access to the Mexico trade node. And we oh, I can't. Okay, I can't send someone to the Mexico trade node. It's fine. Let's see. These guys gonna pop down here because I need to wipe out this army before before I go after the mixed tech. So I'm gonna wait for these guys to lock in, I guess. Don't need any more spying on these guys. They are now locked in, so we can just pop over there. So they're going to start off the fight attacking my ally. They are currently dealing with penalties and stuff. And now we can just go to Guatemala, where we will be on the defensive again and wipe them out. There we go. Okay, so now we need to get military access from these guys if we can. And yes, I can. So I now have access through Zapotec, and that allows me to go after the Mixtec. So we'll be able to clear into the Mixtec territory. And we should not have any trouble here. Okay, once again, we're just gonna chill on their capital here. And we got a wall breach right off the bat. So that will be very useful. Whoa, 2 wall breaches in a row. Yahoo. So this should go pretty quick. And once it does, I can annex them and then figure out what I'm gonna do. Oh shit. Yeah, I can annex them, but if I annex them I have to give the provinces to Quiche first. These guys are attacking into Highlands. So we should be able to wipe out their army here. And there we go. So I move these guys back down and finish up the siege. Smooth and easy. Shit. We're gonna go ahead and embrace the reputation because our goal is to... We need to get national ideas ASAP. The stability reduction is a cost in admin power. Alright, so we won the Siege of Mixtec. We can now go ahead and annex these guys. And how are we going to go about that? We have the choice of directly vassalizing Mixtech. Or does Mixtech have any claims on their neighbors? Mixtech does not have any claims on their neighbors. So I can either do this, or if I wanted, I could give these provinces to Quiche. And I think I'd rather just give these provinces over to Quiche. That's the wrong deal, so... So we're piecing out with just these guys. And our vassal is annexing them. We're now moving through here. And we are going to fully annex these guys. In addition, we get a nice little claim over here on any of them because they're all the same exact thing. So we'll do this. We'll take the claim on Toptepec since we definitely want to take that for ourselves. And we can go ahead and annex these guys completely. And this will give us 55% overextension and cost us a pretty decent amount to core. But it should be manageable. It's fine. Decisive victory. Alright, so we have some war exhaustion, but not a huge amount. We're just going to go ahead and core everything. And now we can go after Zapotec whenever we want. So, how's our unrest? We have exactly 10 unrest in several locations. And one of the reasons that I'm not reloading here is because... So, Totonac and Tlapanek. That's not good. So we need to immediately declare war on you to... Wait, who's Tarascon? Son of a bitch. So many people are allied now. Okay, so mistakes might have been made here. Because if I declare war on these guys, I then have to fight the entire area. Luckily, they still have rank 1 militaries. And if Colima is allied with who? Just with the Aztecs. So if I declare everyone a co-belligerent, then this is the war to end all wars. Because all I have to do is win this war, and I'll be able to basically just fully annex everybody. Okay, so Yahoo, let's keep it going. Do I need... We're going to hire... I can't afford a mercenary. Do I want to go in? They have one shock here. Honestly, no, I don't. I want to go after these guys up here. Okay, so my goal here is to basically just take these guys out one by one. I need to get control of all of the territory over here, and hopefully I can win this cleanly. They can't currently start taking any of my territory. So Kalima is actually not hostile toward me. So, but yeah, if I can, for instance, vassalize Totenok, that would be very helpful. Going to be a big war. I'm going to get a lot of war exhaustion from this. Okay, so we'll go ahead and make this core. And the hope here is we can take this, immediately vassalize this entity, which then gives us control of their military, which might even be already in the same spot as their friends, and hopefully result in them fighting. Oh wow, that's interesting. So our vassal just lost their army. That's good. It would be nice to be able to do Blade's Vassal and Force Religion. I'm not sure if it's going to happen, though. Unfortunately... Okay, there's that done. So, all we have to do is fully siege all this, and that will give us the ability, because then we'll be at 100% war score with these guys. We should, at that point, be able to vassalize them and do basically anything we want to them, because they're completely defeated. And I am wrong. I'm 100% wrong on that. Shit. So I need to move these guys all to here. And we're gonna need to wait until we can get this done, which is troublesome for us. So let's go ahead and take the Wargle, because we're getting to the point that's dangerous for us. So we got the Wargol. Shit, they got a wall breach? Who is that? It's Totonak. So Totonak has been fucking around up here. Let's see, so Totonak. I might not be able to vassalize them. I can't make their provinces core either. And because of the fact, oh, that's it. I'm at negative 65% war score right now. There's no way on earth I'm going to be able to peace out in a favorable peace offer when I'm currently at negative 65 in the overall. So we're going to try. It's because they took Guatemala super fast. I don't know how they took that siege that quickly, but I think this might be over. This is too big an army for me to deal with. We've got tens of thousands of troops that we're going up against here. And we just lost control. I think we're just going to end this. Particularly because of the fact that we are going to be at a deficit for our other materials. I think that's just what I want to do. Oh, sorry, I didn't notice that there was someone in the chat. Oh, that's why, because it's crashed. Okay. Okay, sorry about that. Usually I'm better about reading comments, but I wasn't reading the comments just now because the app crashed on my phone. So the reason that I'm in Central America is because I'm doing the custom nation achievements. I'm doing a quartet of them. So I'm doing first come first serve, which is why I'm in Central America. I'm doing for Odin, which is why I'm Norse. I'm doing Ideas Guy, and I'm doing From Humble Origins. So that's the reason for that. I'm going to drop her age down to 25. And we're going to take Conqueror. Because Conqueror's badass. Alright, and let's see here. And that is going to require that we rearrange stuff over here a little bit. So let's see. First of all, I need to check. I think that this is doing the bug thing there. So we need to cut 4 points off of our costs right now if we want to do it like this. So if I were to increase her age, I think that's an unfortunate thing to do. So we're going to have... Lawgiver is a 10-pointer. It's really good, though, which is why it costs that much. It could drop her stats by 1 each, because that'll only cost me 1 year's worth of that, but 1 year's worth of... Or sorry, not 1 year, 4 years worth of it. And I don't think that I want to do that, though. So we can drop Years of Separatism down the list a bit. And that gives me an extra point, but I'm still looking at 53 out of 50 this if I'm doing it this way. Is there anything else that I can do to save points? I don't think so. I think I basically have to... I might have to replace the Years of Separatism thing here, which is unfortunate because I really like this thing. I could drop my Discipline. Just the second rank in this? So I could do this, which would give me a reasonable advantage. Yeah, that was 30 minutes ago. Sorry about that, Frederick. Let's see. I don't really like the idea of improving the morale of armies modifier, because it's not really that huge of an upgrade. So if I did this pops me up to 53 again. I'm wondering why this costs so much. Okay, that's why. So we have 12 points to play with. Can't do it that. So we could do this. This gives me 10% artillery combat ability, gives me some national unrest reduction, and I basically am losing 2.5% discipline for the sake of having a younger initial ruler. Now here's the question, is that actually worth it? This allows me to have an additional, assuming that the average year of death is the same, which is actually not the case, but even if we assumed it would be an extra 15 years of having Aldrea. Is that worth it? If she lives for 20 years, she'll be 60 years old. And if she lives for... You know what? I think that it's better to do it this way. Because it costs less points and gives me a better opening. It's silly to do it the other way, I think. Okay, so what do I need? That. I don't want to get the one that's colonialism, because why would I need colonial stuff when I'm busying myself this way? So what I'm going to do, tech cost. Tech cost is an interesting one. That's a potential benefit. But I think going with strict is probably my best bet. So by setting her as strict, a strict lawgiver conqueror, by the way, is elemental Aldrea. So this gives me a much more coherent opening than I had before. But what happened to my costs here? So we dropped this, increase this, and did we have, yes. Perfect. So we're gonna save this. This should do the job that I'm looking for it to do. And this will also allow me to have a bit of an upper hand in the earlier fights. Alright, let's do this. I don't mind being insulted as long as someone isn't causing trouble in the chat, it doesn't matter. Let's see. Okay. So, that's done. Improve my prestige and spreading Norse rituals. I'm actually not going to improve my stability yet. I don't think that's going to be worth it. And in the first 10 years, I'm probably not going to be improving the other stuff. So we're going to do this. could make a generous donation, but I don't need to. Okay, setting our national focus. Do we have anybody who's... No. Alright, so we can get rid of our cavalry. Oop. And then we can just do whatever we want. So we're going to start looking here. Itza, Shu, and Zapotec. Itza, Shu, and... So Kokomes is going to be their ally. And... Okay, perfect. So they're both they're both enemies of Itza. And so that's good. These guys are enemies. So these guys are going to be allying with Itza, which is troublesome, but that's okay. Okay, so for my settings for this stuff, I'll go over this since somebody just asked in the chat. I have these traditions, which I think you guys all just saw right now. I've got morale, army tradition, and national unrest reduction. The big important ones, I have 10% discipline, and my ambitions is 15% core creation cost. I've also got the separatism thing that I think is going to be useful. In terms of my culture, I am Manchu culture because I don't think any cultures that aren't Manchu have any actual bonuses associated with them, but Manchu allow you to get banners. So I figure I might as well get 10% better cavalry for free, basically. So I'm Manchu culture, and I have a oligarchic republic, and I'm starting out with a ruler who is god tier but kind of old. So let's see here. I am just going to be fabricating claim there and fabricating claim up here on Kokomes. Oh, forgot my merchant. So sending a merchant down here. And... oh, and religion is Norse because I'm doing for Odin, which requires that you be Norse. So I'm doing for Odin, ideas guy, first come, first serve, and that other one from Humble Origins. So those are all the ones that I'm doing this run. I'm not going to actually achieve them this run because I've already obtained most of them. The only one that I don't have is ideas guy, I think, on that list. But I'm going to be trying to do it anyway because I'm trying to... it's a 50-point start because one of them requires a 50-point start. I don't remember which one it is. I think it's Humble Origins. But one of them requires a 50-point start, so that's all I'm using. If you do have a 200-point start, I think that's better. But I'm basically doing this... A lot of people have asked me about doing these group of achievements, and I figure if I do all of these achievements at once, that's pretty much the hardest way to do it, and it will thus serve as a good guide for, like, if you had 200 points, how much easier would this be, right? So I don't think that this is the optimal way to do it from a time management standpoint. I think that it takes less time to do, you know, one or two of them at a time than it does to do all four of them at once. Just because you end up spending so much time having to get like a really, really good opening and figuring out the strat involved and things like that. So I wouldn't recommend doing all four of them at once, but the whole point of doing challenges is to be challenged, so... Yeah, I don't even remember which one it is that requires that it be 50 points. Give me a second, I'll take a look. It is... It's gotta be one of the ones that I have already. Let's see. Yeah, it's Humble Origins. So Humble Origins requires that you start with less than 50 points and end up with 2,000 development. It's relatively easy to accomplish that, particularly when you're expanding your way through the Americas. I just realized that I'm an idiot and I'm waiting on 25 when I need to be waiting on 20. Alright, so we just waited a couple of extra months. Stop building this. And we can stop building this one as well. Alright, and I need to build the rest of my army. I should have built the first troop at the very beginning like I did last time. And let's see. So we're building this. We're going to get this. So eventually... So Zapotec and Aztec are allied. Which is pretty optimal. And I guess I can just send a general here. Wow, he's useless. That's great. That's what I love to see. I always love wasting 50 of my stuff. You could get, you know, Grand Generalship, except you don't actually have enough influence with that faction to do it at the beginning of the game. It's okay, though. That one extra fire is certain to save my troops as we go through this stuff. I like this. So the other thing is that I should also be building a spy network over here. And who am I declaring war on? I feel like either way, I'm going to be... Okay, I think I want to declare war on Kokomes. Now, the reason that declaring war on Kokomes is better is if you declare war on them and set Quiche as the co-belligerent, you can piece Quiche out of the war immediately once you've dealt with Quiche, and then just go up to Kokomes and deal with them. Now, the other thing is that I have just realized, let's see, we're on the 27th, we're going to wait. Okay. Stops building a spy network up here. And declare war on these guys, as I just established. Set Quiche as co-belligerent. Declarations out. In 4 days, we will send these guys back in to continue building the spy network. Alright. So we've only got 6,000 troops, which, you know, isn't great. And we're just going to pop over here. We don't have any siege, so this is going to be... I don't actually need to blockade, now that I think about it. I don't need to blockade because they don't have access to naval stuff yet. Okay, later, server. Or Costin, I guess. Server is probably a title. Damn it. Well, that sucks. So, they got a wall breach, which means that they're about on par with me. I don't really want to charge them. Do I want... Oh good, disease outbreak. Okay, so we're now ahead, but that doesn't really mean anything. So Hopefully. Hopefully we do win this. They do have the faster growth here, unfortunately. So there's a supply shortage bringing us up to 0% there. We're bringing them up to 0%, rather. Now they're up to 7. No. Come on. No. I have a suspicion that we're going to lose this. Because I have no faith in the RNG. And I could leave one guy behind and go attack them, but doing so would be extremely costly. So, more costly than having to siege down my capital again? Debatable. Okay, we just got a water shortage. I'm actually gonna do this. We're gonna just... There's no way I can justify continuing this base race. And I think, since we're on the defense, we should be able to do this even though we're flanked. But maybe not. It looks like we are fuck-sword. Okay, well, we're restarting, I guess. Time to restart. So, I'm now remembering why it is that I was getting Pike Square in the previous one first. So, if I do want to get Pike Square first, is it... I'm wondering whether it's acceptable to get Pike Square first. The basic way that this works is that I'm going to be taking... I'm going to be taking this entire area within a certain time limit, basically. But that time limit is actually pretty broad. It's not terribly difficult to make that time limit. So the question is... the question is basically whether this is gonna... If we have Pike Square, we can't really lose any fights. So maybe I should just wait on Pike Square first. I don't need multiple claims on them. So let's destroy the cogs, but I'm gonna think about how I want to handle this. I'm also wondering whether I want to go with Odin. Since she's so old, I might be better off going with Snotra. Because if I go with Snotra, it's 5%. Oh, it's only 5%. Never mind. That's 30 per. It's not enough. Okay, so protecting trade in Panama. Okay, so build just my network here, and over in Kokomes. So Itza is enemies with Kiche, Shu, Zapotek, and Kokomes. So nobody can get through Itza right now. Except me. I can get the ability to go through there. So now we just kind of wait for a bit. Looks like Itza is probably going to get wrecked by somebody. Looks like everybody is allied with Kiche right now. And that's fine. Because they're also rivaled to Itza. So with that being the case, we're going to want to declare the war on Kokomes. And if we wanted, rather than doing what I've been doing, I could instead vassalize Kokomes and take the Shu territory and give that territory to Kokomes. Or I guess vice versa. I could vassalize the Shu. Can I vassalize them? No, I can't vassalize them and force their religion, which I think is actually better than reforming the nation out of an annexation. So, let's see here. I guess we can go ahead and just increase the speed for now. But I do need to remember that I'm really not in a rush. I can afford to wait for Pike's Square. I'm pretty sure that's what I did before I attacked anyone last time, and that was my most successful run. Let's see. So we are getting a fabrication on Kiche, and we're going to go ahead and get 2 fabricates on Kiche. And I don't need any more stuff for them. Belize. Trying to get a claim there. So these guys are only allied with Kiche, also only. So our goal here is to basically go after Kokomes, call everyone else in, and then by calling everyone else as co-belligerent, we can annex these guys or vassalize them, whichever we so choose. Let's take a look here. I think we're probably going to want to annex the northern territory. And vassalize the south. Okay, so that was the fastest war ever. Okay. So we can now fabricate a claim on Iximche. And we can now move over to start building a claim on somebody else. So we cannot get another claim on Itza yet, but we can once we start taking the territory over there. So we're going to do this. We're going to fabricate the first claim on Belize. And we're just going to keep building these spy networks up while we try to get our military power up to get Pike Square. And if things remain stable while we're getting Pike Square, we'll be set. Hey, the nobility estate just gained 10 influence. That allows us to grant a generalship. Boo frickin' yeah. And that general does not cost us any power to accumulate. So we're going to go ahead and start hiring our troops. Spread of Norse rituals is something we can just do. Can invest this money. Okay, so how much do we need for this? The other thing is that we can declare a war and not immediately pick a fight with the enemies if we want. So my hope here is that I'm going to be able to get the neighbor bonus for this from places in Africa getting it. Because we are the African tech group. We keep Aldrea, and we now have Pike Square. So we're going to stop building a spy network here. Declare war over here. And Quiche is their only ally for some reason. Oh no, that's not. Quiche is allied to these guys as well. So we're going to call everybody into this, basically. And let's see, what else do we need to do? We're now going to wait 4 days and get this guy back over here to build a spy network again. So we don't lose any of our sort of gains there. And they have 8,000 troops now, which is fine. So we're just going to wait for them to move away from here. We're going to get in there behind them. And we have one siege, so our hope here is that we can just sit here, and they'll sit here in Pipil and doing nothing, and all will go right with the world. So we now are at war with Shu and Kokomes. Our goal here, I really hope these guys don't kill us, because we're in hills. Oh, they have a decent general too. We do have the Pike Square advantage, obviously, but it's not quite as big an upgrade as I'd like. So we're gonna just keep one person here to protect the siege. Where are these guys going? Oh, okay, never mind. I didn't see the thing because it wasn't close to the thing. Ah, damn. So that ticked up. So they attacked at the time of month that's bad for us. Fortunately, they're... Okay, set. We're going to arrive on the 26th, which is well before the 1st. Done. So, split this army in half, send half here, and send one of these guys over here. So we want to make sure that we get rid of these points before we wait for the 1st, and we're back. I don't know why the live stream gets periodically dropped like that. I don't actually know if there's an interruption on you guys' end or not, though. I'd love for confirmation on that. Okay, so we're just gonna chill here. We're going to detach a blockade here. Do we want to do that? I feel like protecting trade here in Panama might be more valuable. don't need quite this many troops. So we can fully siege this down. So the question here, though, is we're now going to be facing off against 15,000 troops. And how on earth are we going to fight that many troops? We're going to be able to vassalize these guys. I guess we can take them out because in all likelihood we'll be able to split them into two different groups. So I'm sure it'll be fine. So we're going to increase our Republican tradition a bit there, which is probably the better decision. Unfortunately, do I want... I'm actually thinking that I might want to just annex these guys instead of vassalizing them. Okay, so... I have 2 claims here. I don't have any claims on Shu, so... And I have the 1 claim on Kokomis, but that's something I can easily give up. So here's the question. I think, yeah, we're just going to annex these guys instead. And that'll increase our force limit a bit. So we're going to stop building our spy network in Zapotec so that we can annex these guys. That'll cost us 113 admin power. Yeah, let's do this. So this will give us some overextension. It's tempting to try and figure out a way to not have to spend any admin power at the beginning, so that I can get my tech stuff faster, but I don't think it's the right decision. Interestingly enough, it actually helps my force limit more to turn them into a vassal than it does to do it this way. So maybe I should always just vassalize these guys. Okay, so we now have like +8 against these guys for some reason. 3 battles and from the blockade. Okay. So we're waiting on our 7th troop getting up in here. Oh yeah, I 100% should have vassalized them. 100%, it would have been better to vassalize them. Alright, let's see. we're going to fabricate a claim here. We're going to fabricate a claim here. And we are going to request military access. These guys are going to Peyton. They're coming straight at us. I'm wondering what my best option here, because I don't. Oh, whoops, an idiot. Oh well, that worked. Possibly. Unfortunately, the other guys arrived after, or sorry, before the first one's finished. Alright, so we just lost 3,000 troops. We can afford to rebuild them. So these guys are probably heading back to Mani. They are not. They're heading to Kampache. So we can just stay here, except we don't want to. We want to head to Ekab. And these guys will arrive tomorrow and get insta-gibbed. And we can hopefully get to here before the first, but it's an actual fight. They did not refresh their stuff though, so that's good. Okay, so we lost some troops. I'm gonna be able to get there. Yes. Okay, so these guys are toast. We can now start carpet sieging. And I don't even need to fully siege the provinces, I just need to get into them long enough to cancel the builds. So this one's done. And one guy escaped. But I'm gonna try to siege down these provinces before I go after him. Okay, so all we have to do here... Yeah, this guy's going to Pippil. Oh, wow. Okay, we've won. The only guy who's left just ran into a native tribe and got destroyed. So we're now sieging all of their provinces, and we've got this. It's in the bag. There's no way for them to come back from this. So we are going to be annexing Shu and vassalizing Kokomas, but we're not actually going to be doing that. What we're actually doing is we're going to be... Let's see. Let me take a look here. Okay, so Renaissance hasn't been created yet, so I don't have to worry about Renaissance quite yet. So we're going to send all these people over here. And that will allow us to siege down this. Oh, this is the wrong spot. Send these guys to ECAB, finish this. And with these guys carpet sieged, it's just a matter of time before we take them. So and interestingly enough, these guys are already willing to do this. So I don't know if they'll be willing to do it after I annex Shu. But basically, I'm going to be annexing Shu, and then I'm going to be giving all this Shu territory over to Kokomes. And Kokomes is going to be taking this territory. I'm going to be taking these three. Next tech's going to be joined in. I guess I should probably start building. I guess building a spy network against them is kind of silly. And I'll be... Do I want to annex them or vassalize them? I have access to up to 4 vassals. If I vassalize them, I get a stronger military out of it. But I lose the ability to directly attack. Hey, Tlaxcala is not a vassal? How did they get Tarascon as a vassal? Holy shit. That's interesting. So Zapotec and Colima, Tlaxcala, and Totonac. Oh, good. Perfect. So I can now build temples. We're just waiting on this siege, and once this siege goes, I think we can do both of these. I don't think we have to siege both of these down. But we need to do this because otherwise we can't take the provinces. So in 2 years, we're going to be able to do national ideas. There we go. So I won that siege. We cannot annex them? But I set them as co-belligerent, didn't I? I didn't set them as co-belligerent because I didn't declare war directly. Ah, damn. So, with that being the case, we have to decide what we're going to take. And I guess we're just going to take everything except Mani. That's not necessarily the best plan, though. Because if Kokomes doesn't get a claim there, then I won't be able to get the claim myself. So instead, I'm going to take everything except Champutan. And we will go ahead and have them pay us war reparations because we might as well. So go ahead and send this out. And now, in 3 days, we should be able to piece these guys out, make them my vassal, and force my religion. Okay, so that changes their religion to my religion. And there we go. we can now grant them Campeche, rather. We can grant them Akunu and Mani. Perfect. Okay, so these guys are now my vassal. They really are kind of annoyed with us. Can't imagine why. We're going to want to improve our relations with them. Or we can't, because they're... Okay, we can stop building a spy network with these guys. We don't need it anymore. We do need to continue building one over... It's somebody over here. I've already got a claim on these guys, so I don't need to have them. Nix Tech I don't need because they're allied with Itza. And I can just annex them as a co-belligerent. These guys are allied with Kopotech, or with Zapotec. So if I'm planning on annexing Zapotec, a good way to get in there is I'm going to take this for myself. So we're going to start fabricating a claim over here. So if we declare war on Totonac, then they're allied with Colima and Zapotec. These guys are allied with who? Colima, Tlaxcala, and so that would bring Tlaxcala into it as well, which is suboptimal. So we just want to go after whoever brings the fewest number of co-belligerents in at a time, basically. Because with these native tribes, I can annex easily. So these guys are allied with Mixtec. We're going to go ahead and declare the war. If we declare Mixtec co-belligerent, it does call the Aztecs in, but I can't do too much with that. And it just makes the fight way harder for no reason. So let's not do that. We're just going to declare the war. There's not going to be a co-belligerent status. We're just going to annex them. And the war goal will be to take Belize because we can do that earlier. Let's do it. So let us see what our war exhaustion isn't too bad right now. These guys are now going to Peyton. Since they're going back to Peyton, I'm not going to worry about them. Now they're going to Chiapas. We do not have military access through Zapotec, so I don't have to worry about that. And we now need to start improving our relations with our lovely vassal. And I just pop these guys over here. Deal with this army. And we're just going to deal with this army. I don't think there's really any reason to worry about the fact that this is hills. We have Pike Square. And that is a wrap. So we lost 700 troops there. Whoa, shit. These guys over to Peyton. Whoops, I did not start moving. I am a dope. And these guys are dosed. So we're just going to move down to here. Send these guys back over here. We're going to send this guy over here. And we can start up another coring spree soon. So my corruption is growing because I'm not paying enough to get rid of it. And let's see here. Yeah, I think we're going to go for full annexation here. We're not going to give any of this to this vassal. In fact, I think that this territory is all I'm going to give this vassal. I'm going to vassalize somebody else on the west side. And I think it's probably going to be Totemach, because they're super small. So the Aztecs are only allied with Mixtec. Which means that once... Do I want to start sending someone to... It's going to take 40 months to convert them to Norse. Yes, we're going to do it. So how many troops will spawn? 11,000. That is an unacceptably large number of troops. Keeping Aldrea, which is good. And once we finish coring this stuff, we can turn it into states, and then if we so please, we can start working on it. So let's ask for military access here. So Guatemala's cored, we can now state this. It's going to cost quite a bit to core that. It's worth it though, because that allows us to now increase our local autonomy. And get that to be manageable. Whoa, hello. So we found their army. So we can now just pump up our autonomy here. And I'm actually going to cancel this missionary here. We're going to clear our separatists first, and then we'll send a missionary in. Alright, so we're going to be able to take out Mixay here. We're going to go ahead and annex them. And Mixay. Mixtech. So we're going to annex Mixtech here, and then we will be able to move on. So before we do that, we need to have a clear idea of who we're going after that. So Tlalopinek is currently allied with Tlaxcala. Tlaxcala is extremely tiny. So I think it's more valuable to have a spy network over here, because I think this is a better group to go after first. I say that, but honestly, I kind of need a break in order to recoup my manpower. Okay, so in about 2 months, we'll be able to get national ideas, and then we'll be able to immediately pop our way up to explorers. It also gives us a nice bonus there. Okay, so the first thing we're doing is taking exploration ideas. And we're about to get direct divinity, which will be nice. Okay, so our estates are complaining about the fact they don't control enough territory. I go ahead and give this to the nobility. And we don't really have anything good to give to the church, so we'll give this to them. And interestingly enough, because I'm a republic, even my merchants are expecting territory. And that will actually help me out, because these things are pretty high in autonomy. I actually should have done this one. Let's see, what's the looming disaster? Aristocratic coup? Shit. So, controlled provinces is worth 25%. I can just take this province away from them. Later this year. Now, the alternative is that I could also just vassalize these guys rather than annex them. The Liberty Desire of Kokomas is shrinking. So we just won the Siege of Mixtec, and now we have to figure out exactly what we're going to do here. So, if we annex Mixtec outright, we can then release them. I can actually do this. I can take their territory, make them a vassal, and force religion. And then when I peace out with the other guys, I can just give them back their provinces. So I think I'm going to do that, because that seems like a good plan. So take these two provinces from them, and force religion. So if we do this, then we'll have two vassals that are following our religion. And these guys will allow us to continue to spread westward. But we want to get a claim here first, because I don't think Mixtec has any claims, because Mixtec is useless when it comes to claims. Okay, yeah, I don't have any claims to allow me to attack Tlopanek, and I need a claim on Tlopanek before I move on. The Aztecs just declared war on Zapotec. Or something like that. Why would you attack? Okay, so this is the perfect opportunity to go in against Zapotec, actually. So what we're going to do here is we are going to peace out with Mixtec. Yeah, let's get these guys back. So we're piecing out with Mixtec. We're going to vassalize them, and that's going to pull us into a war against Zapotec as well. So since it'll pull us into the war against Zapotec, we'll be able to just start taking down the Zapotec territory without having to fight any of Zapotec's armies. Or sorry, any of their allies. So we're doing this. And that calls us into their war. And we just go into their capital. So are we going to arrive first? No, the Aztecs are in charge of the siege. Which is pseudo acceptable. Okay, so now we can't. Oh yeah, so now we can finish this war. We don't need to be at war over here anymore. And this is going to take a lot to core, actually. Well, that's fine. So it'll take a while before we can core all this, but that's all okie dokie. And yeah, we can easily increase our unrest if we're going to be... Ah, that's why it's costing so much. So it's costing a lot because of the fact that we don't have territorial cores. Alright, so... Core... But we don't want those cored because we're going to be giving them back to our vassal. This guy's going to Guatemala. And we can now core nothing else. Okay, we're just going to leave one person here. So Totonac and Tlapanek just joined a coalition. It looks like basically everyone joined a coalition against us. Which is less than great. It's okay. Start improving my relations here. And Mixed Tech is already converted to Norse. So once this is finished, I think the only way that we can get what we want out of this war is to actually vassalize these guys. So how many vassals do I have right now? I have 2 vassals. And their Liberty Desire is high. How much of it is from Strength of Vassals? So the relative Strength of Vassals is too high for me to take on another vassal, I think. So I'm going to ignore that guy. So my relations improvement is gonna take a while. I'm gonna see if Tlaxcala just declared war on me, which is surprising. So Tlaxcala is part of this coalition. So who am I at war with here? Tlaxcala, Tlapanek, and Totonac. We should hire a merc at least. Actually hire 2 mercs. And holy shit. Where are these guys going? I have concerns. This guy's gonna need to be cancelled. Okay, so this guy's in Highlands. I'm gonna see if going over here with these guys encourages them to do something dumb, like come after me. So I'll have standardized pikes at the beginning of next month, is it? I need 8. Which is how much I'm getting. We were at 4th. Okay. Standardized pikes in the house. So we now have another increase to our military power here. These guys are going to here. So we can go ahead and start sending troops over to carpet siege the person in charge of this war. We're at 99% here. And interestingly enough, we were given the capital here. So we're going to stop improving relations with Mixtec for a little bit. And we are going to vassalize these guys. So that not only removes an army from the field in terms of, like, who's an enemy right now, but it also conveniently brings them in on my war. So are these guys... They're not quite that dumb. Okay, so Tlapanak, Totonak, and who is it? Tlaxcala. Okay. Oh shit. What did I do? Cancel this. And Belize is appropriate. We need to do Belize, but... Okay, I'm going to leave one guy here. And send the rest of these guys out. To get this situation resolved. So we're going to go over here, take out the Tlaxcala army, which is moderately useful. And we're going to immediately change our minds, because I just realized these guys are probably going back to break that siege. Okay, so we took those guys out. These guys are now going to come into here with me? Yes? No? Maybe so? I sure hope so. Okay, we're actually going to bring... these guys over here. There's really no reason to leave them there. And I'm trying right now to get these guys. So we're gonna get these guys over there. And they can retreat, but they cannot really easily reinforce this army. So, can I peace out? No. Would I want to peace out? Debatable. I don't need to worry about this because they'll get their own province back eventually. So instead, we're gonna just pop over here. The war exhaustion is high, and we want to get this first, if we can, before we start spending diplomatic power on dropping war exhaustion. And it looks like these guys are now fighting against Kolyma, just taking advantage of the opportunity to go after them. So they're fighting Tlapanek and Tlaxcala. So who is in this war that can be individually pieced out? Nobody, probably? Okay. There's nobody here that can be individually pieced out because this is a coalition war. So, instead... Is this their capital? Oh man, Kolyma's already occupied their capital. So we will pop over here to take this province. And the Kolyma army is just gonna siege that down. We have Itza separatists. Spent it generously, gave 100 administrative power, Yarhu. And we now have colonized Pipil. Do I want to Pipil? Not really, no. Okay. So we're gonna just pop over here. And we will actually arrive in time to start putting an end to these guys. And a bunch of zealots just spawned. Itza separatists have spawned, and that's a big fucking issue, actually. Because there's 11,000 of those. I wasn't paying enough attention. I should have hit them hard. The Mextecan separatists are a problem because I need to... get this shit pieced out. So if I wanted, I could declare war on the Aztecs next. I wonder if my enemies will deal with my rebels for me. Almost certainly not. Okay, I'm actually going to increase... that doesn't help me any shit. I need to get pieced out of this war. I do not want these guys spawning, but at the same time, if they do spawn, do I care? Because they're separatists that just make them it go into my vassal. Actually, could I just accept their demands? There we go. So Kokomes is still at high liberty desire. And it probably will be for the foreseeable future. So Mextec and Separatists have spawned. So is this something that I can actually come back from? I feel like I probably can. I do wish that that Kolima was doing a better job. This is occupied by Tlaxcala. So if I try to siege down their capital, will that allow us to peace out? Because I don't really want to fight this entire swarm at the moment. I actually need to end for now. I'm actually not feeling well. Like I have stomach cramps that have been escalating slowly over the last hour or so, and I'd like to finish this war first. But I'm more and more feeling like this that I should probably restart this, especially considering I'm not feeling well. Yeah, I don't think I can afford to take on 3 separate vassals, and I think I want Quiche as a vassal to start. I think I want both. I want to. Well, the problem with getting Quiche as a vassal is that then it's hard. I can't get stuff on Zapotec as easily. There are disadvantages, but yeah, I think I'm gonna just end this for now. I will hopefully be able to stream a little bit more, either later tonight or I guess this morning. It's 4:40 in the morning. So anyway, that's gonna be it for now. Thank you everyone for watching. It has been a pleasure to stream for you today. And next time I will hopefully be able to get a much more coherent setup. For those of you who are waiting on Jade Empire, I'm gonna need to... I got a thing that's supposed to fix the bug, but it did not... It doesn't seem to fix the bug posts after it's already been implemented, so I need to see how far back I would have to reload in order to get access, and I might fight my way back up to that point. Anyway, so that's it for today. Thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you later.